Hello and welcome to the season finale of In the Sheds. As always, I'm your host Sam, and my expert panel this afternoon is composed of Brittany.
Hey guys.
Andy.
G'day, good to be here.
And Brianna.
What's up?
Now, as always, we're going to take a look at all the sporting action around the Central West, answer your questions, but first, guys, how was your weekend in sport?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah,
There was a lot of actual Central West people playing this weekend on the national stage, so that was pretty good. We had Ryan Grant playing for the All-Stars, Archie Thompson, another footballer, playing for the national team, and we had a few rugby union players.
Yeah, so we had Bo Robinson playing for the Reds against the Crusaders this weekend. So.
And how'd they all go? I know that the All-Stars didn't go too well against Man U.
Yeah, no, they didn't play that well, but Ryan Grant played pretty good himself. The team, obviously, they're coming up against Manchester United. It's never going to be an easy game.
Well, they're coming up against Manchester United's third-grade rookie team that doesn't really play. But anyway,
they had some good players,
They
to be
definitely
fair.
had.
Robin Van Persie came on, Welbeck,
Ryan
Zaha,
Giggs.
So some legendary players were right there. So they did well in the end, but yeah, just outclassed by a better team.
and the Reds?
Unfortunately, the Reds went down to the Crusaders, who had Richie McCaw come back for his first game after a long sabbatical. So the Reds are unfortunately out of the Super Rugby Championship, but the Brumbies are still there, ready to go.
Pretty convenient getting McCall back at that stage, isn't it?
Don't even get me started on that one.
Moving forward now to our first question of the evening. It actually comes through our Facebook feed. It's from Tracy from Bathurst, and Tracy writes, "Dear sports team, I was wondering what the state of water skiing and water sports are in the Central West." Now that's a good
It's
question.
an interesting question.
It's a bit cold in the Central West in winter time, so I don't know how much water sports actually going on. I do know at Lake Burrendong out in Wellington, that's one of the top training facilities as far as water skiing and other water sports go, wakeboarding in that. But anything else?
There's definitely a big dragon boating community in the Central West, so that's a big one. Out in Mudgee, they do a lot of dragon boating there, and even Orange has a team as well. So I think that during the winter, maybe that sort of takes centre stage in the Central West in terms of water sports. But it's definitely an interesting one from Tracy.
Yeah, Trace, you couldn't get me out in the winter water in Bathurst and around. Andy?
Yeah, I think obviously, yeah, like you've said, now it's winter. It's not really that prominent in the area, but I think when we start to get into December, into the summer, into the warmer months, it's going to take off. So just look for that in the summer.
Okay. Second question of the night's come through our Twitter feed, hashtag In The Sheds. We love our Twitter. Tom from Candor says, caught up with your news program last week. That was Sports to Youth here on Grassroots. And he says, the AFL story really caught my eye. Noticed that teams are struggling. How do you guys feel they can combat this? And if you did watch the program, you notice we did talk about junior divisions and that the Central West is coming through with some strong junior leagues, and that really drives any club. But they are having some issues.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's about developing the sport in the Central West region. I think they've got the Auskick program that AFL is really well known for starting up in a junior age group. So I think getting that out Central West and pushing that through would be a good start for the AFL region in this region. Also
getting a lot of the current professional AFL footballers out here just to, just talk to the kids, get them enthusiastic about the sport, teach them all the technical skills from a young age. So that's really important as you progress through the ranks.
Yeah, we've seen the Giants come and take a few trips around the Central West. Obviously, they're sort of our team now, which is good. Also, I spoke with Mark Kennedy, the coach of the Bathurst Bushrangers. They're my team. They're pretty much the dominant force in AFL at the moment in the Central West, but it's a bit difficult for them. They're winning by 107 points a game, and they do want more competition as well. He spoke to me about the possibility of sort of merging leagues with the Riverina, Canberra, these sort of areas. So that's another possibility down the track.
Yeah, well, you've got to take into account, though, that the travel to go down to Wagga Wagga every game and things like that, it's difficult for the league. So that's probably a dominant factor in why there's only 4 clubs at the moment.
Well, that's the hardest thing that the Central West faces in any sport, really. It's just such a large region to cover.
Geographic location.
I will remind you all that this is our last episode of the season. We're into our second last question. Question 3 comes from Lisa from Forbes. Now, Lisa emailed us and she wants to know about women's sport. She says, I love your show, but you do focus on the manly sports. So what do we have going on in the Central West for the girls? And we've got a very gender equality sort of panel at the moment. Girls, take it away.
Well, I guess on Friday we had a segment on female rugby in the Central West and how it is starting to grow. So there is a big rugby sevens outlet for females in the region that's going to build up. Hopefully, come the new year, there should be a summer sevens competition for the girls. And at the moment, we've got 4 teams in the females rugby 15 competition, which is good, and it should build, especially with the Australian women's sevens side doing really well in international sevens competitions, and with the Olympics coming up, we're sure to do even better. So
some of those union girls can be pretty intimidating. Bree, you reckon you'd get out there with them?
Definitely not. That's not exactly my sport, is it? But in terms of other women's sports, we've got netball. The state league started this weekend in Orange, which is always pretty spectacular. The Orange A is definitely dominated, but we can have the Bathurst teams come back, and other Central West teams definitely do well there.
We see the Bathurst Gold Miners State League women's team dominate. They're in second position at the moment. They are defending State League champions. Andy, you yourself know plenty about women and plenty about sport. What about you?
Yeah, well, I don't know if we can go on too much about the first topic there, but in sport, I think Britt and Bree have wrapped it up pretty perfectly. Myself, yeah.
I also actually did go down and check out the roller derby girls training in Bathurst. They're trying to get a team up and running, and some of those girls are pretty intimidating. Names like Booba, Big Bertha.
Obviously nicknames those.
They love their nicknames. I was talking to their captain coach, Tinker Tosser.
Tinker Tosser?
And yeah, she could toss you, don't worry.
Oh, mate. I won't have to, hopefully.
Now, this is our last question of the night. It's a bit of a sad time now. We're up to the last question, but I love this part. I love when we get a caller coming in. We've got Sally from Dubbo on the line.
Oh, hi guys, I'm Sal. Oh, I love your show so much.
Thanks a lot, Sal.
I just want to know, with Australia not getting that much wickets at the moment, I just want to know what you think about Nathan Lyon getting onto the side.
That's a good question, Sal. Nathan Lyon, he's a Central West boy from Young, and he's an experienced campaigner. He can take wickets. If I'm on the selection panel, he's in my team for the 3rd test. That's my input.
I totally agree with you, Sam. Yeah, you'd have to replace Ashton Agar, who, in my opinion, he's been thrown in the deep end a little too early. He's only 19 years of age, and he's being brought in predominantly as a spin bowler. Hasn't taken that many wickets. His 98 was impressive, don't get me wrong, and he could have saved us in that first test. But again, he's a bowler, not doing his job with the ball, really inexperienced, not his fault. And I just think Nathan Lyon is an experienced campaigner, proven at this level, and I think he could do the job for us in the 3rd test.
Nah, I couldn't agree with you more. Like, Ashton Agar, nothing against him. The kid's done a great job. You know, he's got a lot of pressure on his plate, and he batted brilliantly in that first innings of the first test. But the thing is, he's not in there as a batsman. He's there to take wickets. And with England having such experience in their spin attack with Graham Swan, I think we need to get our experience in. Nathan Lyon's been there. He's done that. He's dismissed Shastin Tendulkar more times than the great man Shane Warne. No offence, Warnie. Don't get me wrong, mate. I'll tweet you, Warnie.
I think it's also just the fact that we, as much as we do need to get those wickets, it's hard for the bowlers to try and defend a score of only 100 or something. Like, these batsmen, that's their job as well. They need to score these runs, and if they're not doing that, it's just putting extra pressure on our bowlers.
Definitely.
It's time for change. We definitely need to change something, and if it means bringing on more experience than Ashton Agar, then that's what we need to do. We can't go into the series and be completely swept.
Yeah, look, I like changing the bowlers. I'd like to see Ben Hilfenhaus get into the side swing the ball. He's not even in England.
What happened to Jackson Bird as well?
Yeah, Jackson Bird, he was great.
That's another option.
But as far as the batters are concerned, it's a tough one, because at the end of the day, we've probably got our best there. I just don't know if they're in the right order.
Yeah.
Like, Shane Watson's up top, and he bats his best up top, but he's not doing anything. Michael Clark's just too low at 5.
Yeah, I agree.
He's our best batsman, 3 or 4.
And there's a lot of, I don't know how the culture of the team is as well, with the batting lineup, with Shane Watson, Michael Clark.
I think they said the other day that since Ricky Ponting moved from first drop, we've gone through about 6 first drops. So that's that's a huge amount of batsmen that we've gone through. So obviously there's something that needs to change.
It's always hard to replace punter, and it's always hard to replace a show like this. But we are wrapped up for another season of In the Sheds. I want to thank everyone for your company. I'd like to thank your panel today. We've got Andy.
Thanks, guys.
Brittany.
See you guys.
And Brianna. Guys, you've been fantastic all year. Thanks for your questions. Thanks for your support. Hopefully we'll have another season coming up next year with the next crop of sports journos. Until next time, that's In the Sheds, wrapped up.